Well, hello from New Jersey. Yes, the Packers have had to play several games without two of their star offensive weapons in Christian Watson and Aaron Jones, and that looks to be the case here tonight. At this point, is it entirely up to Aaron Rodgers on what he wants to do? And then what has the communication been like the last few days and the last few weeks? Yeah, Chris, well, this Packers defense is coming off back-to-back games where they were able to hold their opponents to under 70 rushing yards. Yeah, well, several guys in the locker room after the game saying that the NFL is sometimes about momentum swings. Brian Gutekunst not really wanting to use the word rebuild this offseason, but this is as close to what this organization has seen to a rebuild. Instead, it's a transition into this Jordan Love era. A tough stretch, but then coming back and winning 4 of the last 5. What does this say about this team able to just stay in it no matter what and work through those kinks?
I think it just shows our mentality.
The Cowboys have 9 All-Pro players this year. The Packers just won a kick returner in Keyshawn Nixon, and they are certainly embracing this underdog role that they've taken on this season. Mahomes can use his legs. He's actually the second leading rusher on this Chiefs team, and if you take away the 15 times that he's knelt down at the end of the game for a loss of 17 yards, he's averaging 8.5 yards per scramble. Almost 2 weeks ago after the Vegas loss, Jair Alexander said that maybe this defense just can't give up any touchdowns with this young offense still figuring things out. Matt LaFleur said on Tuesday that they want to spoil the Lions' Thanksgiving. Gary's former teammate is definitely going to be going after Jordan Love, and like he mentioned, this is an offensive line for the Packers that is relying on backups once again. David Bakhtiari going on IR, Elton Jenkins not playing. Green Bay will host the 2025 NFL Draft in and around Lambeau Field and the Titletown area. We're here with the birthday boy. Is there any other present better than a victory?
Nah.
The Packers always talk about carry the G. Well, they've carried it from Georgia. They have a lot of Bulldogs on this team. So if they are to take another Georgia Bulldog, who do you think that would be? Yeah, well, this is the 205th meeting between the Packers and Bears, making it the oldest rivalry in the NFL. Although lately the Packers have been pretty dominant, winning 20 of the last 23 games. You guys always say don't get too high, don't get too low. Is it moments kind of like for this?
Yeah.
No Christian Watson and then no Romeo Doubs after he left the game in the first quarter with a chest injury. So it was up to these rookie targets, and Dontavion Wicks came through. There are 28 guys on this Packers squad that are first or second year players. That's about half the team. The Rams' game-wrecking defender Aaron Donald is ruled out for Monday night's matchup. Especially good because the Pack's All-Pro left tackle, David Bakhtiari, is also ruled out. Matt LaFleur saying, though, that in the NFL, you have to have a short memory and you have to keep going. But before that, the annual family night. The first look at this year's squad under the lights in Lambeau Field, and for the rookies to get acquainted with their new home in front of 65,000 fans. It's a lot of missing faces, older faces, but now it's time for the new era of football here in Green Bay. The Lions didn't have much to play for other than playing upset here. Were you guys expecting them to come out as strong as they did, knowing that they only wanted to upset? Yeah, well, Green Bay said all week they know they have to win out and keep this playoff mentality, and it starts today with Carolina against the 2-12 Panthers. Now the Packers getting back Jair Alexander and A.J. Dillon, but still no Christian Watson, Jaden Reed, Darnell Savage, or Devondre Campbell. Their star backs, though, are out there, including Aaron Jones. Here with a 12-yard run, he picked up 46 total yards on the first drive. And A.J. Dillon, well, he's going to finish it for him. The 1-yard touchdown run, even with that broken thumb. Packers go up 7-0 early, and then they start the second quarter with a little love shove. The QB won with the 1-yard score. Anders Carlson missing the extra point, so it's 13-3. But here comes the Panthers. The jet sweep, and, well, Rashawn Gary gives up the edge. Amir Smith-Marset takes off, and Jair Alexander missing the tackle. He's in the end zone, and they get within 3. Now, Carlson later gets a 53-yard field goal, and then right before the break, Love scrambling. Here he goes, finds Dontavion Wicks for the 21-yard touchdown. Packers up 23-10, but Wicks banged up on the play. He did not return with a chest injury. Let's fast forward down to the fourth quarter. How about another one? Love, this time Romeo Doubs on the other end in the end zone, but Panthers, they're going to make it interesting. Bryce Young throwing his first TD in more than a month there, connects with DJ Chark. 30-22, but not done yet. Young again to Chark. This one a 10-yard score, and this time their 2-point conversion is good, so we're tied at 30. But Packers ball, and they're going to try to get some more points on the board here. 3rd and 4, Love to Doubs again, and they're calling it good, a 36-yard gain, and Anders Carlson finishing it with a 32-yard field goal. Panthers, though, they have a few seconds left, but they just simply run out of time. The Packers win it 33-30. Yeah, not a pretty one defensively, but Green Bay now 7-8. Playoff hopes still alive. Hear from Matt LaFleur coming up later in sports. Plus, take a look around the NFC.
We've had a lot of moments together. We've spent a lot of years together on this team in Green Bay here. But we'll see where life takes us.
We'll see where life takes us. All of that part of a wild ride this offseason. And it's been even more wild the past few weeks. Now on Friday, perhaps some fuel to the fire when I interviewed Packers president and CEO Mark Murphy. He used the past tense when speaking about Rodgers. And even more interesting is when I asked him if it was strange that the organization has been through something very similar 15 years ago with Brett Favre and, of course, involving the Jets.
It's kind of that happens in our game. You know, very few players play for only one team. And, you know, obviously Brett had a great career, Aaron had a great career here, and, you know, Aaron will be in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, he'll be in our Hall of Fame, and we'll bring him back, he'll retire his number. But this is just one of the things that you go through as a team.
Favre and Rodgers bringing this organization a combined 2 Super Bowl titles, 7 NFL MVPs, 7 first-team All-Pros, and 22 playoff appearances in their 30 years in Green Bay. Chris? Jair Alexander said earlier this week when Rasul Douglas was traded to the Bills that it was a wake-up call for this team, for this defense, and for this secondary, especially with Darnell Savage on IR, Rudy Ford popping up as questionable coming Friday. So it was time for guys to step up. 2 7th-round draft picks from this year. Carrington Valentine at cornerback and Anthony Johnson Jr. getting his first NFL start and his first NFL interception.
Wow. It was all thanks to Ja, though, because Ja actually made the play. He tipped it up. Obviously, it was a tip drill, and I was able to get my hands on it. Thank you to him. He's like, I told you he was going to get one. Yeah, it was his voice. It's very special because just the preparation that I put into this, you never know when it's going to pay off.
And Valentine with 3 pass breakups.
Boy stepping up today, you know the vibes.
Man, 3-7 played like a top-tier corner in the league, and it's exciting to see. And, you know, he will continue to do that because that's his standard now. You know, he's young. I mean, we've seen it in camp. Like, he's young, he's hungry. You know, he wants to make plays. He wants to be the best, you know, and I can't be more happy to play alongside with somebody like that.
You know, 3-6 and 3-7, man, just understanding the trade with Rasul and, you know, everything he meant to this team, and for them to come up, you know, this week and understand our defensive standard and understand there's pressure on this week. Yes, it was pressure on this week. And for them to come out and, you know, perform how they did. It was great for this defense, great for them, and, you know, they're going to have a great career.
Coming off the sideline and all of them hugging me, excited, man, that's special. That's something that you don't always get, and, you know, I think that's the reason that we play so well. We play together.
Man, I'm super proud of those guys. It's so fun to watch them come into practice and work and, you know, just perfect their craft. And, you know, it's only going to get better from here because that's their standard now.
Other rookies on defense making an impact too, Lucas Van Ness and Carl Brooks with some splash plays.
You know, I want to be those type of guys that affect the quarterback, not just by tipping the ball, but I'm grateful for it. So just got to keep out there, just keep going.
I thought we played physical. I thought that, you know, we did a good job against the run. And our guys were making plays, they were having fun, and they were competing. And that's really all you can ask for is guys just trusting what you see in front of you and going out and playing fast, playing physical, and playing together, doing your job.
While he's not a rookie, Jonathan Owens coming up big in a gotta-step-up role, getting that sack and forced fumble, which was recovered by Devondre Campbell, and later led to that Aaron Jones touchdown.
It just felt good, you know. It was a burst, like a burst of energy. What was the second drive? Like I said, they went offense winning. It was just they start rolling after that, you know, winning score 7. So it's just about playing that complementary football.
They did lose Kenny Clark in this one to a shoulder injury, but the team says there isn't much concern around it. Meanwhile, another vet, Alexander, getting the game ball.
Jair looked like the Jair that we all expect. He was flying around. He was all over the place, making great plays. Obviously, he had the one PBU that led to the interception.
Wins aren't easy in this league, and when we do win, you got to enjoy it. And I said, you know, next week we got another challenge. We're going to go up there, and we're going to win again.
This Packers defense only allowing 3 points, the lowest since almost 2 years ago when they beat the Seahawks right here at Lambeau Field, November 14th, 2021. That final math 17-0. At Lambeau Field, Adriana Torres, Action 2 Sports. When the Packers traded up for the 26th overall pick 3 years ago, they had this time in mind. A new era about to begin in Green Bay, the Jordan Love era. Now, this team knows that it's going to be a transition as the fourth-year QB takes over. He does, after all, have the shadow of multiple MVP quarterbacks in this storied franchise hovering over him. Some pressure, certainly, to live up to those before him, but Matt LaFleur wants to temper expectations, at least to start.
I just think it's going to be a progression. I mean, certainly I think we're fooling ourselves if we think he's going to go out there and perform at a level of to the likes of what Aaron Rodgers. I mean, this guy is a once-in-a-lifetime, a generational talent. And I don't think it necessarily started that way when he first started, but he progressed into that.
Really excited where Jordan can go. He needs to play. And having him sit another year, I think, would have really delayed kind of, where we're going and what we're trying to build. I think he's eager for his opportunity. But he's been good. Yeah, I think he's in a good place.
Love making strides, getting a start in KC in 2021, playing in 4 games last season, including in relief for Rodgers in Philly, where he threw 113 yards and 1 touchdown, plus first-team reps in practice with Rodgers injured. Still in an understudy role at that time, but now he becomes the leader.
He's come a long way, quite frankly, because I know there were some times where early on it's just you're like, you don't know. And I still think you have to go out there and you got to do it consistently. And it's one thing to do it in practice. It's another thing to take it to the game field and do it. Certainly have seen just his performance in practice, his mechanics, his decisions, his timing within the pass game, and I think just his accuracy, which is what we always are grading the quarterback on.
We've seen steady growth through his first 3 years here. I just think you start him to grow and grow and grow. And again, he didn't get nearly as many opportunities as we would have liked last season during games, but when he did, he certainly answered the bell. And I think it's just natural maturation as a person too. But I think we started to see him grow into that role and felt more confident.
It's going to be a progression, and hopefully we can surround him with enough people to help him perform at the best of his ability.
That's a key, rallying around Love and getting him help, because as of right now, the vets in that wideout room are just entering their sophomore seasons.
There's going to be a lot of growth with those two guys, certainly, Romeo and Christian, and then you got Samori Toure, and we're going to have to add some bodies to that room, certainly. There's going to be a lot of new pieces, when you lose guys like Alan Lazard and Robert Tunyon. I think it's going to be a work in progress, quite frankly, and I think, we're going to have to be very intentional about what we ask him to do. You got to find people to supplement those roles, and so I think, our whole offense, we'll have a little more clarity once we get through the draft and on who's going to be on our roster, and it's going to be a fun process for all of us.
At least publicly, this Packers squad, both coaches and his teammates have been very supportive of Love, saying he's ready to go and that they trust he'll find his way. Now, even Aaron Jones flying out to work out with Love just shortly after Rodgers made his announcement. But as we know, the real work is yet to come, and lots of it. Chris?